Welcome back to your safe place. We just wanted to take a quick sec to give you a virtual high five for being such an awesome supporter. Seriously, folks like you make our day and help us achieve our goal of spreading the word about mental health and psychology. Let's keep the good vibes going and continue to make these topics more accessible to everyone. So thanks a bunch, and now let's get ready for a video that's going to knock your socks off. Are you ready to dive into the world of dark empath personality type? Buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride. Picture this: an empath with the moral compass of a cartoon villain. That's the dark empath in a nutshell. These guys and girls have the unique talent of understanding your feelings, manipulating them, and then cackling like a Disney villain behind your back. It's like having a therapist who's also a supervillain. Talk about multitasking. So let's strap in and get ready to have some laughs while we explore the fascinating and often bizarre world of dark empaths. Let's go. Picture a combination of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, with a dash of Professor X thrown in for good measure. Dark empaths have this unique ability to read your emotions like a book, but instead of using their powers for good, they're more interested in using them to their own advantage. Sneaky, huh? So, how can you tell if you have a dark empath in your circle, or if you're one yourself without even knowing it? Well, keep an eye out for people who always seem to know the right thing to say, but who also tend to manipulate situations to get what they want. And if you find yourself in a position of power or control in your relationships, it might be time to take a step back and examine your own behavior. But remember, being a dark empath isn't necessarily a death sentence. It's all about recognizing these tendencies in yourself and taking steps towards being a kinder, more empathetic person. So let's all work on becoming better versions of ourselves and leave the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde routine to the movies, shall we? Why the dark empath personality type is like the supervillain of the psychological world. They've got all the powers of the empath, but with a Machiavellian twist. So, why are they so dangerous? Well, dark empaths are like human chameleons. They have this incredible ability to blend in and appear caring and empathetic, all while secretly plotting their next move. It's like they're constantly wearing a mask, and you never know when they're going to reveal their true selves. Another reason they're so dangerous is that they lack a moral compass. They're like a car without brakes, careening down the road without any regard for the people they might hurt along the way. It's like they're living in a different universe where empathy and kindness don't exist. But beware, if you want to protect yourself from the clutches of a dark empath, you better watch this video until the end. If you notice someone who always plays the hero or always says just the right thing to get what they want, it's time to pay attention. Don't be fooled by their seeming caring and empathetic behavior. You never know what their real motives might be. Upon learning that someone is an empath, you may automatically assume that it's a positive trait. But what if I told you that there's a dark side to this power? For example, you spill your deepest, darkest secrets to your empathic friend, only to later discover they've been using that information to manipulate you all along. It's like the plot of a psychological thriller. But don't worry, not all empaths are secretly plotting to take over the world. And hey, if you're lucky enough to have an empath in your life who uses their powers for good, hold on to them tight. They're like the superheroes of the emotional world. According to a study by Haim and the gang, almost 20% of participants surveyed displayed traits of a dark empath. And what exactly does that mean? It means these peeps have the dark triad personality traits of Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy all rolled into one charming package. Can you say red flag? So, if you come across someone who seems to be a bit too good to be true in the empathy department, be on the lookout for these dark traits. Because let's be real, nobody wants to fall victim to the emotional manipulation of a dark empath. The world of these personality types is like a crazy game show where contestants compete to see who can rank the highest in Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy while having the least amount of empathy. It's like a twisted version of The Bachelor. On the other side of the spectrum, we have empaths, who are basically the superheroes of the personality world with their high levels of empathy and low levels of dark traits. But then there's the dark empath, who's like a hybrid superhero villain with high scores in both empathy and the dark triad traits. Here are some warning signs you should be aware of. So, have you ever had a partner who seems to be overly kind, but it all feels fake? Like they cuddle with you after a romantic evening, say sweet things when you're feeling down, and compliment you at the perfect time, but something just doesn't feel sincere about it all. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice to receive affection, but when it feels forced or insincere, it's a bit of a mood killer. Am I right? Well, it turns out that some people are just really good at putting on a show. They're what we call dark empaths, and they know how to say and do all the right things to make them seem like the perfect partner. But before you jump to any conclusions, it's important to keep an eye out for other signs and traits that might indicate whether they're truly kind or just trying to please people. One of the other traits of dark empaths is their ability to manipulate others. Have you ever felt like your partner has a strange knack for always getting their way, even when you're in the middle of a heated argument? These sneaky individuals are experts at manipulating others by using their cognitive empathy skills. They know exactly what you're thinking and feeling, and they'll use it to their advantage to get what they want. And if that wasn't bad enough, they're often so self-centered that they don't even care about your boundaries or feelings. It's like they're living in their own little world, and you're just a side character in their grand plan. So, what can you do if you suspect you're dealing with a dark empath? Well, first of all, don't be afraid to stand up for yourself and speak your mind. After all, you deserve to be with someone who values your needs and respects your boundaries. And if all else fails, just remember that there are plenty of fish in the sea. So don't settle for someone who makes you feel like a supporting character in their life story. You're the star of your own show, and you deserve someone who treats you like it. In fact, studies have shown that dark empaths are more likely to use indirect aggression, including guilt tripping, than the average person. If you've noticed that your partner often uses guilt to get their way, it could be a sign that they're a dark empath. This type of behavior is not only manipulative, but can also be emotionally draining and damaging to your mental health. So, you know that feeling when someone cracks a joke at your expense and you're left feeling like you just got hit by a bus? Yeah, not a great feeling, right? Well, apparently, dark empaths just love this kind of humor. According to Sigmund Freud, this malicious humor is tendentious and is the worst type of humor out there. And honestly, we can't say we disagree. When someone uses malicious humor, it's usually to make themselves feel superior to others by putting them down. And let's be real, nobody likes to be put down. It's not cool, and it's not funny. So, if you notice your partner using malicious humor, it's time to have a serious conversation. Let them know how their behavior makes you feel and that it's not something you're willing to tolerate. And if they refuse to change their ways, well, it might be time to say, peace out, and move on to someone who knows how to treat you with the respect and kindness you deserve. And here is the last one, and probably the most disturbing behavior of dark empaths: their tendency to spread rumors. We all know that one person who just loves to stir up drama, right? These folks have a knack for manipulating others and exploiting their weaknesses, so it's not surprising that they'd use rumors to get what they want. And let's be real, spreading rumors is just plain nasty. It can ruin your reputation and make you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells. So if you notice someone spreading rumors about you, it's time to take action. Confront them and let them know that this kind of behavior won't be tolerated. And if they refuse to listen, well, it might be time to cut ties and surround yourself with people who actually have your back. The world of dark empaths. It's not for the faint of heart. It's like being trapped in a horror movie where the villain knows all your deepest fears and insecurities. But don't let their dark powers scare you into submission. It's important to recognize the signs of a dark empath and take action to protect yourself. Whether that means setting firm boundaries or cutting ties altogether, you have the power to take control of your own life. Do you ever feel like you're being emotionally manipulated by those around you? Well, you might be dealing with a dark empath or an energy vampire. So if you want to avoid feeling like you've been sucked dry by these energy-sucking culprits, head over to our channel and watch our video now. Trust us, your emotional well-being will thank you later.